Hey vinyl community, Jeff here again. Time for another one of my vinyl collection videos. Yes, let's jump right into this. Another band. Actually, the last one I did was Queensryche, and so we're still in the queues. I'm just kind of jumping around looking at bands that I have a substantial enough amount to show, and happen to, after Queensryche, jumped into Quiet Riot. So we're looking at Quiet Riot today. So Quiet Riot, of course, started in the late 70s with Randy Rhoads and everything, and they struggled, and then they had a couple albums out that only came out in Japan. They're really collector's editions nowadays. People in America would always love to get one. They cost a lot of money because they're very scarce. Anyway, so what was this, about a year or so ago, 2022, No Remorse Records finally, after all these years, decades, got the permission, the rights to reissue the first two Quiet Riot albums. They've done them in box sets and individually. And so I did pick up the box sets. The box set includes the album on vinyl, specific color for each box set, has a poster, has a little insert of some information, like a little interviewee type thing, has a cassette copy of the album, a CD copy of the album, all remastered and updated, and a patch. So I did pick these up in the day. So we got Quiet Riot 1. Lay that over here. And we got Quiet Riot 2. Similar box set. I won't drag it all out. It's got the same thing. It's got the CD, silver vinyl record, poster, cassette tape, and a logo patch. So, and of course, this was the early days. Rudy Sarzo joined on bass by the time the second album came around. Both have the legendary Randy Rhoads on guitar. So, did pick up both of those box sets, and then not too many months ago, I never did open the box sets. I mean, they're open. They weren't sealed, but I never played them because I got to thinking after I bought them like a dummy. I'm like, these are going to probably be collectibles. And so I kind of put them aside. I already kind of had the digital track, so I didn't really break into them. And then around just a couple months ago, around, was it like Black Friday, I found copies of the album on sale by a U.S. distributor. These came from overseas. They were expensive. And a U.S. distributor. And so I picked up vinyl editions of both of them for cheaper, for just the records themselves. I did not think about whether or not these might just be, I think, yeah, these are just black. So the box set is special colors, and these editions are the non-box sets, so, which is fine with me. So black. And they came, with the tip, I think they actually came with the poster too, yeah. So, you don't get the patch and all that stuff, but you still get the album and the poster and all that stuff. So basically, I bought playable copies. So that's what I did with these. They're black. So now I still have the collectible editions, and I'm not much of one that does that where I buy like a collectible, don't open it type thing. But in this case, something compelled me to do that, and so I did do that. And I kept these intact as they are, so that I could play these and keep the box set intact. Let me see, this one has everything in it too. So yeah, I won't drag all that out, but yeah, great stuff. First one and the second one. So I have a separate vinyl edition of that. So that is included there. All right. Then we jump into the regular releases. So we have Metal Health, of course, the one that was like the #1 metal album, the first metal album to make it #1 in the charts. This is the one that everybody really knows about because most people had not heard of Quiet Riot for their first two albums. So this is technically their third album, but it's really their first U.S. album. This is the one that put them on the maps. So there you go. You have that. And then I just have this in order for the year, but Live Riot 83, this didn't come out until not too many years ago. It is a live show of 8 songs from the 83 era, so it would have been around the time of the Metal Health. And it's got Danger Zone is one of the songs that was not on the album until they released like a demo version of it much later. But anyway, so that was part of the live concert. So this is just one of those ones that got reissued in the past couple years on vinyl and everything from back in the day. And then Condition Critical, second album, while it still was riding high, they did another Slade cover. They, was riding high on the MTV era back then. People still looked to Metal Health as being the most popular, but honestly, I went back when I showed this not too long ago. I went back and revisited this album, and realized that I almost, maybe because I overplayed Metal Health too much, but I almost think I prefer this album over that. I mean, they both have some amazing classics, but this album is just, it really jumped up in my mind ranking over what I had originally thought. So then we jump into Quiet Riot 3. Got a nice copy here with the hype and a Chartbusters sticker, though. Quiet Riot 3, they had a video, and this was when they were kind of, their popularity was waning a little bit, and some of the stuff was a little more, I don't know, didn't they have like keyboards on here? It was still Quiet Riot, but it was not quite the same as the first two. Then basically they gave Kevin DuBrow, the vocalist, a boot. He's out of the band. And so then they come back with Quiet Riot, just Quiet Riot, just self-titled. Technically their fourth album, though technically really their sixth album if you count the first two. So, but they're still looking at it that way. This is a reissue, 180 gram reissue from a couple years ago. They brought Paul Shortino in on vocals. Paul Shortino's claim to fame in the early days was he was the vocalist for Rough Cut on those first two pivotal albums. Two of my favorite albums. Love Rough Cut. Paul Shortino he did Quiet Riot. He was in the Spinal Tap film. He was the guy at the hotel that I'm totally drawing a blank on. You'd think I know his name, but anyway, that rock star. He's got this nice. If you haven't heard him, he's just got this vocal style that's bluesy, but yet powerful. And he joined King Cobra in the past. He's been in King Cobra now for more than 10 years. Past few albums. They just released a brand new album. So yeah, so Paul Shortino has been one of my favorite singers, and I follow him along. I've got a lot of other side projects he's done, including his band Shortino. But this is the one Quiet Riot album he did as the vocalist, where they brought him into that. Then, so that was what? This was like 89, somewhere in the late 80s is when this one was released. So the band basically disbanded after that, so we didn't hear anything. But then in 93, the band comes back, and I don't have any of these on vinyl, but the band came back with Terrified. Absolutely love that album. I remember when I saw that come out, I grabbed it. I couldn't believe we were hearing more from Quiet Riot with Kevin DuBrow back on vocals, and I thought it was a great album. Not all the same members. We started seeing some other guys coming into the band, but phenomenal. I think it's just a phenomenal album. Now, 93 had Terrified, 95 had Down to the Bone, and 2001 had Guilty Pleasures, and 2006 had Rehab. All four have been reissued on vinyl, limited quantities, by Night of the Vinyl Dead, and they all came out in the time frame about the same year that I started buying vinyl, and shot up in price because they're from overseas. They're hard to find at the time. And when I first started buying vinyl, they were on my wish list. I had to have these albums, but I'm telling you, at the time in 2017 or early 2018, when I really got into, buying vinyl more, these albums were already way more money than I wanted to pay. I'm talking, they were like, I seem like I remember seeing them in the 50s, which was not a lot, but at the time, I couldn't pull the trigger on them. And so they shot up. Now you look at them online and you can get them for $200. I really, 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 really hope that somebody reissues them in a larger quantity at some point. Love the stuff that Night of the Vinyl Dead does. However, it's hard to get their stuff, and they're gone before you know it, and they're expensive. So those four albums, 93, 95, 2001, 2006, near impossible, don't have. But in 1999, the band did come back with Alive and Well, which has been reissued, and not too many years ago. This actually is another repress from maybe about a year ago. And again, we're back with the original lineup, with Rudy Sarzo, Carlos Cavazzo, Frankie Banali on drums, and Kevin DuBrow. And so it's a full album. There's 10 songs on here. Well, one of them's a cover tune, Highway to Hell, that Kevin DuBrow did on an album, kind of an AC/DC album, tribute album. But anyway, there's 10 songs on here that are new songs. So it's a new Quiet Riot album. And then there's like 5 that are re-records of their classics. Sign of the Times, Don't Want to Let You Go, The Wild and the Young, Mama We're All Crazy, Come On Feel the Noise, Mental Health. And then this particular release has 3 demos from the early days too. So this album is a double record set of the original Alive and Well album, of the original lineup, doing just great stuff, new stuff. So I do have that. And then before that was released on a double record, there was this edition called Highway to Hell. What they did here is they took the 5 re-recorded songs and 5 of the 10 songs from Alive and Well, and they put this out as a single album. I bought this first, and then found, when Alive and Well finally got reissued, I bought that one. So I'm going to probably just move this on, sell it, donate it, do something with it. But I don't really need that because Alive and Well is a full thing now. So then basically, jumping in 2001, 2006 Rehab. Then Kevin DuBrow dies in like 2007, and the band has continued to do a couple albums. One of them I tried to get that one earlier one with the like Mad Max looking thing on the front, and Amazon kept sending me the wrong thing, and I never did finally get it. I had to just get a refund, and so I missed out on that. But then Hollywood Cowboys, which I think was the last album they did, I did pick this one up. This one, of course, they've got new singers, and each album's been a little different. But this one, it's got Frankie Banali on drums, and then a bunch of other guys have changed out. But this one has Durbin on it, the American Idol guy that, totally drawing a blank, James Durbin. He's done a couple great albums since this too, some metal stuff. And he's done some other stuff with some of the, with other bands too. But yeah, so this was, he came in. And then after this, Frankie Banali died, and the band pretty much, I think they're still doing stuff, but I'm not even sure who the members are anymore. But I think this was the last album that they did, so... and there's another album that they recorded that was just digitally released. And then, like I said, there's this one, and then there's a live album that I think is also on vinyl, so I'm missing it. But that's it. That's all the ones I got. I got a couple holes to fill, but great stuff. Love the band. Have seen them live a couple times back in their heyday, so great stuff. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Rock on and rock hard.